All right, all right, all right, you loyal listeners. Welcome to another episode of Agency Intelligence Podcast, giving you that real agency intelligence and not the artificial that they try to make you believe out there. This is Cass, and here I am with Winston, who is the owner of Magellan. And you may be saying, who in the hell is Magellan? Well, it's a rebrand, but it's also a brand new thing because he's the man. Winston, tell us, introduce yourself and tell us about your company.
Hey, Jason. So thanks for having me on. Winston Smith, CEO of Bridge, but we also have a new product out called Magellan. We still do the same old stuff, but Magellan does a little bit more than what your traditional phone system that integrates with your management system does. I've been running this business for about 4 years now. Inherited it from a company called the Cotter Group. The Cotters, Adam and Lisa, started it, and Bridge is what they built. Bridge is what we made better over the course of my tenure. And then Magellan is the thing that I've been able to layer on top of phone system, which agencies are always going to need. But there's a lot of cool stuff that can come out of a phone system beyond dial tone and being able to speak to your customers. So that's what I was hoping to talk about today.
Well, we're going to talk about it. Now, here's the thing. You're going to get off this. You're going to be like, damn, this guy is cool. Shit, I want to see his product. Well, you can. You can just come to Indie Tech. And if you're listening to this, you probably only have a couple weeks. And it might be sold out then, but probably not. I think we've got like 50, 60 tickets left. BrainShare is sold out. There's no more vendors that are going to be there, but we decided that Winston, we're going to bring him on. He wanted to come on.
I was the last one.
Yeah, he was at the last one, and the last one sucked. I was
the last vendor in.
Oh, yeah. And for this one, you're right. You're right about that. Yeah. You're right about that. We did have one person drop out about a week or so ago due to some medical issues. And if you are listening, my prayers and hopes are with you. It was awesome. You know, and the one we had last year at Indie Tech had a hurricane come through. I decided to have it on a week where there were two other large events across the year. But the thing about it is like we had like 22 vendors, but we had like 250 people. And so the vendors were happy because they're like, yeah, I didn't have to share them with a bunch of people. I just got them myself. This year is incredible what we've got going on. I'm really excited for it. If you do want to come, you still do have time for tickets. I don't know when exactly you're listening to this, but the price does go up on January 1st. I want to let you guys know that this is going to be an exciting year. But let's get back over here to Magellan, which, by the way, was one of my favorite explorers when I was younger. I think, if I'm correct, he was the first sailor that actually circled the world, went all the way around the world. I'm right about that, Winston?
You're right. First one to circumnavigate.
That's right. And a lot of people try to say, no, like Sir Edmund Pacifica or whatever. Well, okay, I'm not saying Magellan named the damn oceans. I'm saying he sailed through them. Okay, so I was just always fascinated that when I was younger. I don't know why. And that's like 4th or 5th grade, and I still remember that. But Winston, you're the one that started it. You're the one that's kind of trying to talk shit about how you are doing better with yours than what others. Now, one of the things here, real quick, before you tell us about Magellan and why it hooks in better to the management systems and all that stuff. Another thing that Winston, I said to him, I always say this to people. I say, hey, is there anything you want to talk about, not talk about? And he said that he has, or where there are some contrarian views about AI. So that's going to be something that we talk about, which, you know, a lot of times you don't hear those views. So I just want to let you know, loyal listeners, we got a lot coming on here for the next 20, 25 minutes. Winston, so tell us why Magellan versus the others and why you're so special. And tell us in a minute, why did you come up with Magellan? Tell us, get the background.
Why the name? So you've got 40,000 agencies out there, give or take, right? Mm-hmm. And they're all sort of exploring and charting their own path. How to be an insurance agency, how to be a business. What that means is you got 40,000 people trying to do something very similar. Their business model is largely the same from one to the next. And so there's a lot of wheels being recreated. And I think the point of Magellan as a sort of standard bearer for this was you already had someone who circumnavigated the globe 400 years ago. And if you think about insurance, it's been around about 400 years as an industry. So try to spend a little bit less time reinventing the wheel. And we used a sextant as our sort of symbol, right? Logo for the company, even though he didn't use a sextant, just it fits in there nicely. And if you can read the horizon and the stars and you can figure out where you are, two pieces of data, you can, with printed tables, figure out where you are. And our two sort of data points that you can figure out where you are as an agency is how happy your customers are with you and how productive your employees are. If you know those two things, you have a pretty good idea where you are as an agency. So those are our sort of guiding principles and why Magellan as a name and why Magellan as a theme for coming up with this intelligence platform to sit on top of phone systems.
And why is it different in the how that I mean, there's other phone systems that integrate into management systems and the CRMs. Why is yours different?
Yeah. So we still have a phone system underneath. It's Bridge. We only integrate presently with one, but we'll be integrating with others in future.
Okay.
What we do, Magellan does, is that it's taking the raw material from a phone call, the words that are being said, like if you and I were talking right now, the transcription of that, processing it, and being able to give some insights to agents. Not all the data. Don't go slice and dice. Don't go find it. No. It finds you only if it's worth your while, because agents don't have enough time to go listen to the 5,000 or 10,000 phone calls that come into their agency every day. So find out what's important and give you the information of whether what to do about it with a suggested action plan. So it's a big time saver. And if you can attach some premium and revenue dollars to it as well, that comes in from the management system, you can figure out how big an impact this will have to your agency.
Wow. Okay. So what kind of stuff does it pull out of there? Get more in depth about that. So you're getting a transcription, which is a lot of people are doing today, but then this is the insights where you're trying to separate yourself. Can you give us a couple examples of that?
Sure. So I'm your insured calling in to your agency, and we had a bad phone call, bad experience, and your rep didn't have all the answers, didn't do a good job. The customer comes off from the phone call ticked off. You, as the agency owner, manager, supervisor, will get an alert, text message, email, whatever, and says, Mr. Smith, who's worth this much amount of premium and revenue to your agency, is ticked off, just had a bad experience. So you get one or two of these over the course of your day. It's 4:45. It's at the end of the day. You've got 15 minutes. What's the best use of your time? Those are two good phone calls that are worth your time, just to smooth things over with Mr. Smith.
True.
Right? That's just one example right there. Another one's going to be who's taking up all the time at your agency. You may have like not that your agency does this, but like an auto only, minimum limits customer that's calling in all the time. It's not profitable for you. How do you get rid of that customer? Right? Send them over to State Farm. So these are the types of insights that you can get. In addition to finding out how well your people are performing too, adhering to just common service standards. So you've got, Disney, Ritz-Carlton, Delta, American Express. Anytime you call in, there's just basic service standards. Same goes for an insurance agency. 90% of your livelihood depends on how well you serve your customers with retention, right? So you want to know who your best employees are and how well they're taking care of your customers, which is a big blind spot for agents, right? You can't listen to all those 5,000 phone calls. And when they quit, sometimes you don't know why. And that could be because of indifferent service.
Does it score it? Does it score like the phone call? Like, hey, it was this. I think there's some phone companies out there like they're going to score it like it was an 800 out of 1,000 or a 400 out of 1,000. How does yours kind of work like that?
We split it into two, first and foremost. So one is based on how happy the customer is, right? And then the other is going to be on how professional your service person was too. And it will do it on a basic 1 to 10 scale.
Gotcha.
It will tease it out with an explanation. Here's why. Here's the 3 things that were talked about. Here's a 1-sentence summary. You need to go to the specific parts of the conversation to hear for yourself. There you go.
You know what? This parking right here, stopping and clicking. Winston, I don't think a lot of people, I think they underplay the value of that score of the call. Okay. And you want to see it. Maybe you can set triggers on it that says, hey, if it's less than this, I want to know it as an agency owner or something like that. But here's the deal. Like, really think of this, agents, is that let's say you get 10,000 calls and let's use your scoring thing, Winston. And out of those 10,000 calls, you've got an 8.3 average, you know? That's more powerful than Google reviews.
Mm-hmm.
That's more powerful than NPS scores, because you can literally say, this is how my customers feel when we're actually engaging and having conversations with them. This almost becomes like a reputation score or a customer service score. I think that this transcription and scoring is kind of new, so not everybody has it, you know, or it hasn't been around for a long time. But I think you're going to see some agencies really getting creative after 3, 4, 5 years of 5,000 phone calls a year. You're going to be able to like, this isn't like made up. This isn't like, hey, I sent my Google review link to somebody and hope to God they sign up, or somebody's just doing it because it's their friend. Like, this is an actual phone calls that we're having with our customers. Have you guys thought of that out there, about the power of that?
We have, for benchmarking purposes. And then also the fact that, you know, when it comes to a Google review or an NPS or any kind of survey that you sent out, you're only going to get a 2% answer rate, like response rate. If you're lucky, 3%. So imagine you can do this over the entirety of your book, right? All the passive interactions that are going across based upon what's going on the phone or text messages or however customers choose to interact with your agency. So yeah, you can do a lot of cool stuff from there, and you can do benchmarking and see what quartile and, you know, decile and how you stack up against other agencies, depending on book mix, geography, and the rest of it, to say that you're a primo asset and a primo agency, and your service does stand out, because that's what every agency says. What separates you from the next guy? Service. Prove it, right? Google reviews, NPS, that's all great. This reputation score will capture 100% of the interactions.
So some people may have Bridge, but haven't instituted Magellan yet. Magellan is this thing that sits on top of that, does all this stuff you're talking about. Okay. Because I was a little confused about that as well. But I mean, it's just because you came up with it, and that's why we're having this podcast. So you could have, okay, that makes total sense. So if somebody says they have Bridge, I don't want to be like, hey, no, it's Magellan. You know, it's actually, they still have Bridge. I got you. All right. That makes sense. Sense.
And so that way you don't have to change your phone system to use it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So anything else that you want to basically talk about that phone system before we get into some contrarian views, as you like to say?
No, that's enough about me for now. Yeah.
All right.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Yeah. Well, hell, we ain't got any meat and potatoes at home if we don't sell the freaking phone system. You know, so, and you know, one of the things about Magellan that was incredible is many people had tried it, but they couldn't get around the southern tip of Argentina, the Falkland Islands. I remember that. There was so many, because you can't go through that passages and all that stuff, and then the ice and everything like that. But he was able to break through, you know? I mean, hell, if the others would have kept trying, we may not even know Magellan. The name of your system could have been Columbus. I don't know, you know, Americano or whatever it could be, whatever those damn places were. Maybe you would have been Pacifica, you know, that could have been the name of yours. All right, that's enough of that, Jason. Okay, I'm just remembering back to 4th, 5th grade, people. Let's talk about AI. Gosh damn it, it's talked about all the time. And I don't think people are going to get tired enough talking about it, because it really was hyped up. Now we're starting to really see the actual uses of it. You're starting to hear even the big people say, hey, we're not getting the return on this like we should. When people say, oh, I love using AI in my agency, a lot of people are asking now in these Facebook groups, hey, tell me exactly how you're using it. And people are like, Now, I'll tell you, I use it, and I use it very highly, but I use it for OpenAI. I mean, I use it for chat and the different things that I can do there, but it's not monumentally changing my agency right now. It's just monumentally changing the way my brain is able to comprehend and the output of it. But tell me what your thoughts are here, Winston.
So it's definitely everywhere in the tech world.
Damn right it is.
Insurance space is no different. Were you at ITC?
Yeah,
Were you at some of the other shows, or, the Applied and the Vertifor shows?
Yeah, I was.
I probably saw the word AI 14,000 times in a 3-day period at every one of those shows. And that's great. But let's substitute the word AI for hammer. We got hammers. We got hammers. We got hammers. Well, that's awesome. What are you going to do with it? So that was my takeaway of going to all these places is we have tools. That's great. But what we really need is solutions to specific problems. And I think that's where AI has sort of fallen on its face is people realize they need it. It has an implication to do something, but they've never thought about what problems specifically it can be targeted at and what kind of return on their investment are they going to get. It was very telling recently that Gemini, right, who could have done this all along, right, the Google product, has started putting ads in. And so is ChatGPT, right? That's just basically a fancier Google search.
Right.
So after 2.5 years, have they really thrown in the towel on what the potential for AI could be other than being a more expensive Google search? So when I say like AI, it's all over the place, but no one really knows what to do with it, it's because people just look at it as a tool and not really understanding like what problems it can be addressed around. And I think that's what I would encourage all agents like you've been able to figure out is in your agency is what specific problem do I have and can this fill in for that? If so, is it worth it? Because it's not free anymore.
So here's the deal. So loyal listeners, you've heard me, but if you go to agencyintelligencemanual.com, agencyintelligencemanual.com, we've had over 2,600 people download my manual. Okay. Now that to me, I didn't think I'd have 500 people when I wrote this damn thing, but here's the reason why it catches on, Winston. First of all, AI is an effing, remember I said I wouldn't use that word, is an effing mess when it comes to it. Why? Because like you have some AI that helps you with claims. You have some AI that helps you with quotes. You have some AI that helps you with submissions. You have some AI that helps you with your phone, but it's all duct taped together. And I mean, they're not even using Gorilla duct tape because the shit falls apart all the time. It's 3M is what it is. I mean, it gets a little wet and it falls apart, right? That's the kind of AI. And it becomes frustrating because not only do you have all this shit duct taped together, but then like it all costs, that's $500. That's $700, you know? And here's the problem. This is the problem. This is so much the problem. These people creating this technology are so effing clueless that they came to the agents and said, hey, what do you need? I've got this AI. And really, most of it's not AI. It's what we call, loyal listeners, keep this in mind. You'll hear this a lot. It's a wrapper. It's basically something wrapped around API of Open API or Gemini or Claude. And they'll be like, oh, well, we have our own AI. But when you look at where it queries back to at the end of the day, it's querying back to one of those three major ones. So what that means is that all they're doing is wrapping it. They're not coming up with their own. Because here's the thing. When you ask an agency owner, what's the AI you need? They don't even know how to run their damn business, let alone know what they need. You're like, well, I just need someone to help me do quotes because we're doing a lot of quoting, you know? Oh, I need somebody to help me with my submissions. Or this guy the other day, these agents, Winston, they send to me these emails when they're replying to these guys trying to tell them no. And this one company, I'm not going to mention them, but they're not even at Indie Tech, but they're just like trying to convince this guy how much time agencies spend creating proposals. And that was one of the main things. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, how much time do we spend like creating proposals? I wish we had better systems to do it, but like, do I need to pay $600 a month for something to go into my thing and create a proposal? I'm like, yeah, that's like $7,000. I don't, so I can go look and we send a lot of our proposals up here to Office Max to have them printed off and shit. I don't think we're spending $7,000. I don't think that my staff is spending that, but some agent told them that this was important. Let me tell you something. That's why people like the agency intelligence manual, Winston, because in the manual, we talk about routing. 65 to 75% of the time in an agency is spent doing 5 things. My agency, agencies in North Carolina and Virginia, California, we're all doing the same shit. It's endorsements and changes. It's quoting. It's billing. it's COIs, and oh shit, I'm live now, and I can't think of the fifth one. But whatever the fifth one is, that's what we spend 65 to 70% of our time doing. Now, why in the world are they not helping us with that? You know why? Because these systems, OpenAI, and I'm not just talking to you, Winston, I'm talking to all these agents. The systems out there, the Geminis, the Claudes, the OpenAI, that's something they don't know how to do. They don't know how to do that. And so you can't just wrap that. You can wrap other things. You can't wrap that. Like, it needs to know. And that's why the agency intelligence manual, when something comes into the system, it needs to be logically routed to the correct person. There's only 4 things that can do something in an agency: a licensed person, a VE, or a VE managed bot, or a fully autonomous bot. Mm-hmm. And so, like, when you want to help me with some money, when best practices says that 55% of best practices agencies, 55% of their revenue goes to labor. Okay, that's best practices. Most of us are at 60, 65%. Take me to 40% on $1 million book that saves me $150,000. I promise you, your freaking proposal system or your submission system is not saving me $150,000. And so, but that's the deal. That's why I say all the time, for all you agents that are spending all this money building out these systems, man, you could probably build it yourself with OpenAI if you just had a little bit of some developer that lives down the street from you. Okay, all right, I'm gonna back up here, Winston. You got me all hyped up and shit. What do you think about some of that? You got any thoughts about all that madness?
The wrapper is a really good thought. All these masters of the universe, the Altmans, the Musks, etc., they're all making wagers with themselves about who's going to be the first $1 billion corporation with 1 employee, because AI allows you to be able to do that. You don't need to have developing skills. You just need to have the patience to be able to put together some of this stuff that AI allows you to do. So you don't even need that developer down the street if you're able to apply yourself to it enough, because they've just removed that barrier to entry significantly with AI. And so that's what a wrapper is just someone with a prompt that you haven't found yet. It's in front of you. You have to experiment a little bit. You just haven't found it yet.
That's right. That's right. A wrapper is somebody who has a prompt that you haven't found yet. Come on, agents, get your pens out and write that shit down and put Winston's name underneath. Winston, what the hell's your last name? Smith?
Smith.
That's what I thought. I didn't want to sit there and say it, but I did. Yep. I knew it was Winston Smith. I was just making sure you knew Winston. So, one thing on that Elon Musk that I was just looking at. I actually took a screenshot of this and put it in chat, and chat said it's basically true. There's a little bit of, but they said that he's going to announce SpaceX on his API, or not his API, his IP. Yeah. So he's going to put it out to the stock market, right? He's going to list it for 1.5 trillion is what they're looking at being able to post this for. It's unbelievable. Okay. Chat says it's more like between $1 trillion to $1.5 million, but I don't give a shit. Let's just say that it's a trillion. Okay. They said if it does that, with the amount of ownership he has, it will put 600 billion plus added to his net worth. 600 billion. I'm going to tell you what, I am a capitalist. I believe in making as much money as you can. But when you have Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg, who those 3 combined have more money than everybody in America combined. I mean, I don't know if you've been to Florida and you've seen a bunch of these houses sitting on the side. There's a bunch of money in America. And when those 3 have more money than all of that, I mean, we're almost getting out of hand here. You know what I mean? I mean, it's starting to get like, I mean, come on. Can you live with 200 billion?
Yeah. And then he's going to have that army of robots too.
He is going to. I think that's where he's going to make his most money. I think so. I may never have a Tesla, but I'm going to have one of them robots in the next 5 years. I mean, that some bitch can do laundry, and I mean, I don't even care if it like does my chores. I just want to have a robot around that I can just talk to, because my friends are a bunch of, I mean, at least this guy I could at least talk to and have an intelligent conversation with. You think you're going to get one of those, Winston?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who
Damn
wouldn't
right.
want to have that follow you around as security and do the household chores and all of that?
I'm with you. I'm with you. I think that's the coolest shit in the world.
Mhm.
I really do. And man, on TikTok, you see some of these robots, like they're doing flips and stuff. And like, I mean, they're doing some amazing things. The balance on these things are better than human balance. It's wild. It's wild. And like in 5 to 10 years, they're going to come with like some kind of skin type thing, so they don't look all robotic and shit. It's going to be unbelievable. Last thing I want to talk about is while we're on this, I know we talked about AI. You got any more you want to talk about AI?
I just want agents to realize there's an opportunity to invest in their business with some of these technologies that are out there. And I don't think all of them are used to that as a proposition. Agents are sort of been conditioned to thinking, I need to have this, I need to have that. And it's all overhead. And every dollar that I spend on that overhead piece is $1 less in my back pocket. But some of these technologies that are coming out, they're going to have to get sort of more up on the fact that some of them could actually be a return on their investment, or if you put $1 in, you could get $4 back or $10 back. And that includes using their own time as well. So they can make more investments in their business, and you can watch top line grow without having to increase headcount, given
That's right.
What's possible with this AI stuff in the future. So it's a sort of a rewiring and reconditioning, and not just parting with cash equals bad, and not just thinking, oh, I have to have a management system, I have to have a phone system, I need to pay rent, so much as, oh, there's something else out there that could actually make me money, other than just it will save me time so I can go do something else. Hopefully it's sell more insurance, but it could be go fishing or golfing too.
Could be. As we end this up, let's talk about something that's just wild, okay? Just wild. Let's get out there, Winston. Just wild as shit. They say that this age of disclosure, you seen this video? Yeah, or this thing, the age of disclosure. I don't know if you've seen it on Netflix, or it's not on Netflix. It's on Amazon Prime. It's the documentary on the aliens and the UFOs, and there's 30 some politicians now who have come out and said that they know of this and know of that, and these military people who say that they know for sure. There's these deep programs inside of the government that shows that like we do have some of their aircraft that they crashed, and we're trying to reverse engineer their technology. I haven't seen it yet, but I mean, I've read a ton about it. Have you seen that show yet?
I have not seen it yet, but
yeah, it's called Age of Disclosure. But it's the fact that the government has put out officially, I mean, you don't have to watch the show. You can go look this up. They put it up officially that like there is extraterrestrials that live on our planet, and they believe that like they live in the oceans and shit. And it's like, you remember, I think you're about the same age as me. You remember the show The Abyss?
Yeah.
When we were young. That was a good show. I don't think we realized that some bitch was right. I think they're living in the bottom of the ocean, I mean, and so it's just amazing. You know what? What's also funny is they first disclosed in April of 2020 that there are such things as aliens. The United States government admitted it. And if you go back to April of 2020, like they released it and no one even talked about it because COVID was going on. And it was like, do you guys just realize that the government just admitted that there were aliens, I think it's pretty wild. I think it's ironic that aliens always crash like in New Mexico and none of them ever crash in Michigan. It makes me kind of wonder, but what are your thoughts as we close up with that? I mean, crazy shit,
well,
right?
I'll put it right back at you. Are you the alien, Cass? I mean, you've always been kind of a funny guy.
I know.
There was something not quite right about Jason Cass.
Well, I mean, you can cut me open. I think my guts will fall out. I might have to talk to my mom about that. Actually, she told me this story that her and my dad had, made love one day. Maybe that's a lie. I mean, maybe it is a lie. I do like the ocean, right? I want to get my ship. I want to have a catamaran. That's my whole goal. A 55 footer with a 12-foot pole. That's what I'm wanting to do. Shit, you made me think about that, Winston. I may have to talk to my mom when I get off of this.
I could be a Martian too. I mean, I love insurance, for example. I love insurance agencies, and that's weird. A lot of people hear that. What do you do for work? And it's like, I work in insurance, and they go, I just signed up for 5 minutes of this guy. This is gonna be good.
And you named your ship Magellan. Maybe you like the ocean too, Winston.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got something out of this, loyal listeners. Cass might be an alien, and so might be Winston. Winston, I do appreciate it. And then you bought a company called Bridge, which goes over water. Don't be trying to call me an alien. All right, man. That's enough of that funness. Boy, that was a good time, loyal listeners. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of this. If you want to come find out some more fun, because if you think this podcast was fun, you ought to come to Indie Tech. Go to AIIndyTech.com. Check it out. I'm going to wrap it up with you, Winston. I'm going to give you around 30 seconds. If you want 45, I'm gracious. Go ahead, Winston. Tell them what you got. Any last thoughts? How to get a hold of you?
No last thoughts. Magellan.insure. It's the new website. It's the new product that we're selling. Keep your phone system. We'll integrate with it in the future. That's all I got for you, other than just thanks for having me on. Wishing you a Merry Christmas.
So they could actually, in the future, they could keep their phone system and just get Magellan over the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, you want the whole thing, but that's interesting. I like that. See, that's playing with everyone there. We don't get a lot of that today. Playing with everyone. All right, you loyal listeners, I hope that you were able to get through this. As you can tell, I'm excited for Indie Tech. I'm excited that we all get to spend 2 and 3 days with people like Winston, learning from each other, and then just getting drunk at night. And we are bringing out the DJ from the St. Louis Cardinals, which is going to be phenomenal. If you guys don't know Todd Thomas, which you probably don't if you don't live in the St. Louis area, he's got a claim to fame. If any of you guys have watched the Jake Paul Tyson fight, there was a ring girl who was blonde haired who would carry the cards, and she became like an overnight sensation. And that was actually his daughter. It's a really, really cool story. This isn't a DJ with like tech DJs. Like, this guy flies all over America. People have him at weddings. People have him at parties. He's just a fantastically great guy, and he gets people up and rocking. We've got 5 hours of shows where you could talk to people like Winston and Magellan and Bridge. You can talk to over 44 other vendors. We've got BrainShare with Marcus Sheridan, who wrote the book Endless Customers, also wrote the book If They Ask You Answer. Put him on the map. He's an international. He's not doing 1 hour like he does for everybody else. He's doing 3 hours for us. We've got 27 classes that are going to be teaching agents, or agents teaching other agents how they're utilizing technology. We're doing a panel, and panels are usually so boring. But you know what I did? I went and found Bradley Flowers. I said, Bradley, I want you to moderate the panel, and I want you to make it interesting. He said, I got you, Cass. So he's going to be there, and he's going to be moderating the panel. It's at Margarita Resort and Spa. You literally walk out the back. Once you pass the 2 beautiful pools with all the palm trees around it, you hit the boardwalk, and you keep walking another 20 feet, and your feet are in the sand. And no, I'm not talking about Zach Brown. You're literally, your toes are in the sand. So be sure to check it out. AI Indie Tech. Please join us. It's going to be an absolute fun time. Winston, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Remember, everybody, Magellan sailed around the world first. This is Jason Cass, and he's Winston. We're out.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas to you, too.